Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Mandela Effect. Has the human anatomy changed? Hopefully, by now, this is not for the beginner. You've run into the Bernstein Bears and them. Is it interview with a vampire, the vampire, and the list just goes on. Star Wars, Luke, am I your father? No, I'm your father. But here we're moving on to something different. We're kind of wondering, has the anatomy of the human body changed from what you remember? So not only do you maybe remember Chick-fil-A being different and different things, but what about, have you looked at the human anatomy? Have you gone online and Googled? I'm asking for your help here, and I want you to Google along with me. Don't trust what you see in front of you, because what I'm about to show you is so completely bizarre, I'm having a hard time believing it. So Google human anatomy and see if you come up with the same picture that's right in front of you. We all know that food, goes down your mouth, it goes down your throat. But look at this. See right here? It says stomach. You draw a line. This is the stomach. A stomach is right here, and it kind of goes up and over here, and you will notice that the stomach, a portion of the stomach, is behind the rib cage. If you count 1, 2, 3, so at the third rib cage, your stomach starts to go behind the rib cage. The fourth, a lot of it's behind it, So a good portion of your stomach is behind the rib cage and up here. And then you have your large intestine, and then this is the right here. It says small intestine. This is all your small intestine, according to the anatomy here. Does anybody remember the stomach being down here? Do you remember the throat being a straight shot into the esophagus? You had a little trap door, and you had your stomach here, and you had all your acidic juices that digest the food, and then it goes into the small intestine. And does anybody remember the small intestine being down here? How about this rib cage? We're going to go in this rib cage later. The rib cage was always a V shape, but here you'll see it curves in. The rib cage curves. It's the liver. It says liver here. Do you see how gigantic the liver the liver is? The liver is huge. It's gigantic. So let's look at the stomach. As I said, food goes in your mouth, it goes down here, and oops, it takes a little detour. It goes to the right. So it comes down here. Here's your esophagus. And it takes a right turn. And now it's all sideways. And then it goes into the rest of your body. So the stomach is at this completely sideways angle. Does anybody remember the stomach being down here and the stomach being much more round? Seriously, go in the comments. Let me know. Does anything look weird here? If it looks weird, please go in the comments. Let me know. Let's look at this again. So food goes down the esophagus, and it makes this radical right turn. And this is your stomach now. And it goes into this thing, and this is the liver. Look at this liver. It's huge. Huge. Look at that. There's a left lobe. There's a right lobe. There's your gallbladder. This is just a gigantic liver. Anyway, let's look at it again, going down the mouth. Here it is. You make this radical right turn. Here's your stomach at this weird angle. Here's your liver. The liver's huge. Look at that. And then you got all these small intestines, which you might remember the stomach's down here. The liver's over here. I mean, liver's smaller. I don't know. Does anybody remember anything different here? I don't know. Oh, let's play this guy. This guy's kind of funny. Wait, watch the skeleton, dude. Wait, can I make it big? Let's make it big. Oh, he's funny. Watch this. Look how he moves around. So, basically, you see the rib cage here? Do you see how it curves? Look at the curve to that rib cage. And in the back of the rib cage is these two ribs that just dangle. I've heard of free floating ribs, but there's in every X-ray I've looked at, in this reality, humans have these extra two floating ribs. The rib cage curves in. There's this bone that wraps around and connects to the neck or something. Just, does this look weird to anybody? I don't know. All right, let's go into the pineal gland. Here's your eyes, and up here is, from the earth I'm from, this is people would, Indians, well, put the red dot, not that meaning it's your third eye, but, where the Indian religions, they put the dot, well, that's marriage or you're not married, and I know it means different things, but the point is, this is known as the third eye. I remember specifically reading, actually in Wikipedia, you take the third eye, which is above the eyebrows. So here's your eye, eyebrows, above the eyebrow. This is third eye. You go directly back, and you're supposed to hit the pineal gland. And this is where the pineal gland is supposed to be. No, no, in this reality, the pineal gland is down here, and it's a lot smaller and looks different than I remember. If you look at the spinal cord attaches into the middle of the brain. I remember the spinal cord attaching back here more. This is the primal brain. The primal brain is gigantic. It's huge. It's also referred to as the reptilian brain. It's huge. The executive function part of the brain isn't as pronounced. However, this part of the brain is huge. So what this part of the brain does is it creates electrical stimulation, basically communication between the left and the right part of the brain. So because the primal brain is so large, this has to also, in order to compensate, because the executive function part of the brain is smaller, it compensates by increasing the electrical signals between the left and right part of the brain to make logical decisions and compensate, and whatever's being intaked into the eyes, it's a much more rapid fire system. It's it's a more advanced brain for immediate response, but you kind of leave out this executive function a little bit, but that's how they compensate for this large reptilian brain. Otherwise, you have a bunch of humans running around killing each other. Well, oh wait, they do that. Anyway, moving right along. Does this look weird to anybody? I don't know. So this is the skeleton of the people who live on the planet Earth today. The people of the planet Earth today have these gigantic, huge jawbones, and they come down here and they're huge, and they connect here, and the brainstem connects here, and they have these elongated, huge jawbones, and this is present day view. I don't know. Is anybody? Yeah, and then there's these huge indents here. Like, look at these gigantic eye sockets. I don't remember them being that big. And there's these huge indents. I don't remember the huge indents. Um, I'm still recording, and it's where. Oh, it's only 10 minutes, dude. I thought I'd be done by now. Um, hmm. Where do I go from here? I'm sorry. I thought I was gonna be done. All right. So basically, I'm looking for feedback is what I'm doing, and if I get good feedback, then I'll go into my hypothesis. And does this look weird to anybody? Does anybody remember the stomach somewhere else? Do you remember all these intestines? Do you remember the rib cage being at this huge angle? Um, am I? There's a saying that men have one less rib cage, one less rib than the woman because Adam and Eve, God took out the rib, and that is the earth I'm from. It's true. Men really do. It's a fact, scientific fact. We've done autopsies for thousands of years. The man really does have one missing rib, but here, no, they don't. Men and women have same rib count. There's no missing rib here. So, the stomach does. I mean, does this huge liver does this look off to anybody? Please make comments. The brain, third eye was over here. Did these skulls, Google these skulls, look at them. I mean, do you look at the skeletons? Do you remember this way? Skull. I'm just, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm just gonna leave you with the little guy running around for a second, and God bless. Good night. Love to hear from you.